Hello lovers of the world, this is Sinta speaking. Welcome back to Music and Monthlies, my series where I summarize what I listened to in the previous month and set up my journal for the next one. This video, we're going over what I listened to in April and setting up my notebook for May. As you remember, I published my monthly video very late, so in order to not put more pressure on myself, I lightened my musical load as much as possible. I purposefully didn't listen to many new projects. I instead chose albums that my friends had already listened to so that we could talk more about them. I also chose albums based on how excited I was to hear them. So usually I would try to branch out as much as I can, but this time I decided to just stick to what I was already excited for and what I knew was already coming out. So let's get started on what I listened to in the month of April. Daydream EP by D-Crunch. I didn't know much about D-Crunch, but their vocals are pretty good, and this EP is also surprisingly good with what they seem to have as limited resources. My Name is one of the better future-based songs I've heard in a long time. I love the electric guitar in Childlike. It threads in and out so beautifully. Sandcastle is another great EDM song. It would have been so easy to make the wub wub a more prominent feature, but by pushing it back, the vocal talents of the members shine a lot more and the song becomes more emotive. It adds a subtle layer to the song and shows a level of restraint that makes the song more sophisticated compared to other EDM-inspired K-pop songs. It's a really satisfying end to a great but tragically short EP. Chungha proves herself to be one of K-pop's greatest soloists. With her long-awaited album Querencia, she cements her status as a truly global artist as the project forges through different genres, from Latin pop in Play, Masquerade, and Bicycle to the tight pop songs of Dream of You, Bother Me, and Demente. Meanwhile, Byeokharang sounds like it got influences from the early 2000s singer-songwriter pop rock like Michelle Brand or Natalie Bruglia. My knee-jerk reaction to Comes and Goes gave me Rina Sawayama vibes for a reason as well. Maybe something to do with the drum kit kind of reminded me of Ordinary Superstar. But it's seriously also impressive how Chungha has become such a multilingual queen, with Flying on Faith and Dream of You in her native English, Demente in Spanish, and the rest of the album in Korean. There are many singles that came out in preparation for the album's release, adopting a promotion style similar to Western pop artists, and while the singles all differed from each other greatly, it was a pretty accurate representation of what was to come in the eventual project. Bicycle is a kind of risque song we need to be hearing more from female vocalists. Not to throw buzzwords around, but it's very empowering to see a bold, young, confident woman write about her own sexuality and confidence. However, that does not stop it from being my least favorite single off this album. I also didn't really like Dreams Come True. I thought it was kind of boring, for the non-K-poppy normies if you will. X turned out to be my favorite Chungha single from the album though. I really love the rockier R&B-ish vibes from it because the songwriter for X is actually the songwriter for another band I actually really like called The Black Skirts. So I really was surprised to see such a song in such a pop mainstream, well, K-pop mainstream artist like Chungha. But we love to see it. I love seeing my band get that bag, that coin. We love to see it. But yeah, calling it now, this album is probably going to be on the year-end waitlist for being super diverse, creative, and well-produced and cohesive project. While I must have enjoyed less than half of the songs there, I didn't really like all of them. There is no doubt in the amount of care and consideration that went into producing this behemoth. So well done, Chungha. This is really good. Intersection Trace by Bay173. So the title track Loved You has massive Big Bang vibes, but without the extra baggage. Its musicality sounds like it belongs next to the likes of Haru Haru and Let's Not Fall in Love. However, their title track did not prepare me for their opening song. #Trace is a really interesting track to start the EP on, especially since it's the only one of its kind in the project. It's a great rap track though. The rappers have a lot of charisma and their vocal delivery is the best I've heard from a boy group in a while. Although I do find it a little laughable because there's this line bragging about having 100 thou on my wrist when Bay173 just debuted this year. So where are you getting that 100 thou wristwatch, bro? But yeah, honestly, the rapping here is pretty crazy. I feel like they're really giving Show Me the Money contestants a run for their money, if you know what I mean. The last two songs, I Can't Sleep and Green Light, actually sound like they belong in the same body of work, unlike the previous tracks. But these two are really, really good. I like them. I'm kind of vibing with the chill songs that boy groups have been putting out. I just like this refreshing dive into different images that boy groups seem to be participating in. I was never a big fan of very hyper masculine, like manly man type of concepts. So to me, I'm kind of living for this chill vibe era that we seem to be heading into. Like Water by Wendy. If SM Entertainment had given this EP to anybody else, or if I had heard this EP sung by anyone else other than Wendy, I would not have liked it as much. I probably would have criticized the EP as boring or dull, I don't know, not dynamic. So it's safe to say that it's just truly Wendy's vocal talents single-handedly carrying this EP on its back. Rather than hitting the listener with a series of vocally bombastic moments, the title track, Like Water, actually shows a level of restraint even with that climax towards the end. The rest of the album is just incredibly tender. When This Rain Stops is a mind-blowing display of Wendy's vocal talent. Even though it's just her voice and a piano accompaniment, it's easily my favorite song from the EP. I can totally see Wendy going in the way of Taeyeon if SM Entertainment were to continue giving her more vocally advanced ballads that not only showcase her pre-existing talent, but also challenge her to step out of the limitations of conventional K-pop songs. Intersection by BDC. This was a good EP and I enjoyed it a lot. My favorite song is Go Get Her because I thought the wordplay was really cute. Go get her and go get her. So sweet. The Book of Us, Negentropy, Chaos Swallowed Up in Love by Day6. It's a long title. This is a really well-rounded album. I found it very satisfying. It's a very satisfying project to leave the fans with while Songjin goes off to complete his military service. Unnatural by WJSN. WJSN comes back with another banging EP. While the last EP, Neverland, was a decent project and a good addition to their sizable discography, it didn't really impress me too much, especially since I've heard so much better from them in the past. While this project sounds the least like WJSN, as in the sounds they explore here are not what you typically expect from them, Unnatural EP is a strong contender for one of their best projects ever. Unnatural, the title track, was for a long time the only good girl group title track out there when the genre had a surprising absence of girl group comebacks. I'm sure you all remember me complaining about it in the last video. Unnatural is definitely a much more mature concept compared to WJSN's previous title tracks, but it's a concept that is handled exceptionally well, considering that this is a pretty new image for them to tackle. Supermoon is a more familiar sound on them, and I love that little throwback line, "Dreams come true" line thrown in there. It's a more upbeat, sweet, and feminine dance track with a subtle hint of summer. I do dislike the pre-chorus, but it sort of makes the payoff of the chorus a lot more satisfying. Yala and New Me are very bold attempts at trying newer sounds, and they pay off really, really well. New Me is a really cool vaporwave synth pop sound, while Yala is what I would expect the gay bars at Seoul would play. So yeah, I really like this EP. I'm really happy that WJSN is kind of experimenting more, and as far as I know, they did receive a win for this comeback, so that makes me very happy that other people are also recognizing the talent tree found in WJSN. We'd love to see it. Act 1 by 2Z. I discovered this band through their title track Stupid, which I loved. It's so good. They were definitely inspired by the 1975 in the way that the song displays a lot of upbeat pop sensibilities and high energy rock instrumentation. However, other than Stupid, none of the other songs in the album really caught my attention. Maybe down the line I'll give it a bit more of a listen, but I don't know. Couldn't really find it that entertaining. And lastly, I listened to DKB and Woods' singles, I guess you could call them. They're too short to be considered EPs because both of them only have 3 tracks. But I did feel like it was still worth mentioning. They were actually really good. I especially liked DKB's single, The Dice is Cast. They were all really good. They're all diverse genres, but they still kind of fit well into their very short project. They all kind of fit together. I don't know what I'm trying to say. Anyway, Woodz' singles. Well, one of Rebound, I think, was the one that stood out to me the most because, man, that man's falsetto is crazy. crazy good. He's a really crazy vocalist. Kind of sad because with the whole X1 disbanding, obviously. But if this is the way, if the way that he can kind of bounce back from that is through a solo career, then I can kind of see this working out for him very, very well. Best of luck. I haven't actually I listened to some of his other albums and I didn't really like them all that much. So anyway, moving on. Yeah, that's what I listened to in the month of April. What about you guys? What did you listen to last month? What were your favorites? Your least favorites? Did you listen to any of the albums I mentioned in the video? And if you did, do you agree with my thoughts and opinions? Comment your thoughts below or let me know what you think about my spreads. Yeah, take care and I'll see you in the next video. Bye!